Welcome to OptionsPlay. My name is Tony Zhang. I'm the Chief Strategist here at OptionsPlay. And today what I want to give you is an overview of the OptionsPlay platform that is available to national bank customers directly integrated into your platform. The OptionsPlay tool is designed from the ground up to try to make your options trading experience as easy and as simple as possible, removing a lot of the complexities that you may come across when it comes to options trading, and also guide you through the analysis section of every single option strategy so that you can compare the risks and rewards and understand each one of these things before you place an actual trade. Now, before I jump into the demo, I just want to remind investors that if you click on the upper right-hand corner, the guide button, when you click on it, it will bring up a series of flags and pins so that if you are on the platform and you're unsure of what a certain term means, you can click on the guide flag and always reference that to give you a better understanding of the terms that you're seeing on your screen. Now, the platform itself is divided into three sections. On the left-hand side, we have trade ideas and watch lists. In the middle, we have our security analysis panel. And on the right-hand side, we have trading and income. I'm going to walk you through each one of these today to give you a better understanding as to how to use this platform from a holistic perspective, as well as individual modules so that you understand the capabilities of this platform to help you find ideas, analyze a stock or ETF, and ultimately find a trading opportunity on that stock or ETF, depending on whether you have a bullish or bearish view, or if you're looking to generate income for your portfolio. So we'll start off on the left-hand side of the screen where we have trade ideas and watch lists here on the left-hand side. Trade ideas are for stocks where we generate every single morning based on technical analysis scans, both bullish and bearish ideas. And you can sort and filter based on market cap, the sectors of the stocks, as well as the type of technical analysis scans that generate these types of ideas. Now you can click on any symbol within this trade ideas section to populate the rest of the screen, and note that the OptionsPlay integration that is currently integrated into National Bank covers both US and Canadian securities on the same platform. You can also select your own watch list by clicking on the watch list section, and you can add both US and Canadian securities into the tool by typing in a symbol, and you'll notice next to the symbol there's a US or Canadian flag. When you click on a symbol, it will populate that and add it to your watch list, and you can add both US and Canadian securities. The watchlist feature is designed from the ground up to give you summary analysis of the underlying technicals of each underlying security. You'll notice both a score and a color coding across the symbol. I'll come back to that in 1 second once I walk you through the security analysis section. Now, for any single stock that you type in the middle of the panel is what we call our security analysis panel. This is designed from the ground up to try to make your security analysis as easy and as simple as possible by providing summary technical analysis indicators such as 1 month and 6 month trend, which we use moving averages to determine the short and long-term trend of each underlying stock, as well as what we call a technical score, which is a relative strength indicator to give you a better sense as to whether a stock is outperforming the broader markets or underperforming the broader markets. The score of ranges from 1 to 10. 10 are the stocks that are outperforming the market by the greatest amount. 1s are the ones that are underperforming the markets by the greatest amount. So when we look at a stock like Apple that has 1 month and 6 month trends that are bullish and currently outperforming the broader markets, those are generally considered bullish candidates on a trader's mindset. Conversely, if we look at a stock like Facebook, this is a relatively weak stock, but starting to turn around. This is a stock that's underperforming the market, but is starting to exhibit some bullish trends, perhaps more of a counter trend or a contrarian trade compared to the previous symbol that we were looking at here for Apple. Now, you will also have important information like earnings, dividends, and price action data here at the bottom of your screen. Once you take a view on an underlying stock, you can either select I'm bullish and populate 3 bullish strategies here on the left-hand side of your screen, or select I'm bearish to populate 3 bearish strategies here on your screen. Now, the tool is designed from the ground up to allow anyone, even if you're brand new to options trading, to be able to start exploring and analyzing option strategies and comparing them to strategies that perhaps you are more familiar with, such as buying 100 shares of a stock. So in this particular case, if I'm looking at Facebook and I want to look at buying 100 shares of the stock, it would cost me roughly $27,000. This next to it, we'll compare it to a simple option strategy, which is buying a call option, which costs $1,890. Or for those of you that have a little bit more experience trading a more complex spread here, or vertical, which only cost me $1,145. So in this particular tool, not only do we select the strategies for you, we also select the expiration dates and strike prices based on best practices that we teach in terms of finding optimal expiration dates and strike prices. So you already have strategies that are optimized, that are ready to go, that you can utilize for trading immediately. Now, one of the most powerful tools that we provide for investors of all experience levels is our P&L simulator. This allows you to simulate the potential outlook of an underlying stock in the future and seeing how these strategies perform next to each other. So Facebook stock is currently trading at 272. If I think that Facebook stock perhaps might rally back up to the 290 resistance level that I have identified here, then I can plug that into my P&L simulator and see exactly what my expected return for each strategy will look like. But I always, as a market strategist, encourage investors to not only look at the profit potential, but also look at what is your potential for loss. How much do you have at risk if this trade does not go in your favor? This is really where options can really play to your advantage by helping you limit your losses if the trade doesn't go in the direction that you expect it to. So perhaps Facebook stock declines back down to its lower level here around 250, then you can plug that into those levels and see, well, if Facebook declined back down to 250, here I'm risking $2,300 on the stock, $1,900 on the call, and only $1,400 on the vertical, meaning that the strategy on the right-hand side gives me a relatively small amount of risk for the 3 strategies and potentially a higher return if the stock does go in my favor. So that's why this strategy here on the right has the highest OptionsPlay score. Now, most platforms will give you a breakdown of the strategy based on max reward, max risk, probability of profit, as well as your break-even price on each one of these strategies. But most investors will find that if they just simply look at a page that looks like this, it's difficult to compare these numbers and determine which strategy actually provides the best risk to reward ratio. And that's why we created the OptionsPlay score, to make this as easy as possible. And it's color coded so that you can easily identify which strategies have relatively poor risk to reward, like this call option here, and which ones have relatively strong risk to reward, like the strategy here on the right. Now, these are starting points for most investors. These are optimal starting points, but many investors may want to make adjustments. You can always click on Modify to change the expiration dates, the strike prices, as well as change the strategy altogether using the strategy constructor. So if you want to compare, let's say, a short put vertical compared to a call or a call spread, you can easily use this platform to change your strike prices, move them up, down, up one strike, down one strike, easily using this tool. Even price it based on the mid price instead of the natural bid-ask price is all available at your fingertips using the edit legs or modify function. We call it OptionsPlay because we really want you to have the ability and ease to explore different strategies, different expiration dates, different strike prices, and always return back to the P&L simulator to simulate exactly what your expected profit potential would be in all different types of scenarios. There are also a few other tools here that is designed for beginners to help you better understand each strategy. Sometimes beginners may have trouble understanding what a short put vertical actually means, so we have a plain English section that helps you better understand each strategy. We have a risk and investment calculator to allow investors to easily calculate the appropriate number of contracts that you might want to trade for a certain amount of capital that you're willing to risk. And we also, for the more advanced traders, have access to what's called a trading range simulator. The trading range simulator is designed to give you a sense for what is the expected, the one standard deviation move for any expected expiration date. And you can always make adjustments to your expected trading range and see the risk and reward metrics being calculated or recalculated based on your expected trading range. Now, for any strategy, once you've determined that you've found the strategy that you would like to trade, you can click on the trade button to trigger our strategy checklist and our trade ticket. This is designed to give you a better understanding as to how to enter this order into your platform so that you have all the actions, the quantity, the expiration date, strike price, call put, as well as a net bid and ask price that the option strategy is currently trading at. We also have a strategy checklist. This strategy checklist is designed to quickly allow you to determine some of the typical risks and rewards that are important to understand before you place a trade, whether you're trading with the trend of the stock, the trend of the market, the OptionsPlay score, which gauges risk to reward metrics, the next earnings date to see if there's earnings between now and the expiration date of the strategy, and lastly, spread and liquidity, something that is important to understand for options investors. Now, we tend to find that most investors, when it comes to options, fits into two different buckets. You have speculators or investors who are looking to take advantage of a bullish or bearish move in an underlying stock and want to potentially profit from that directional view. That's what the trading tab is for that we just reviewed. But for many investors, options is a tool that allows you to generate income for stocks that you might own in your portfolio. And that's where we turn to the income tool. Now, before I walk you through the income tool, I want you to know that there is an income settings button here at the bottom. It's important for investors who are starting out to first set their settings before looking at any strategies. Now, you can set your settings separately for covered calls or cash secured puts. Covered calls is a great strategy for investors who already own a stock or ETF and are looking to add additional yield to that position. And cash secured puts are ideal for stocks that you want to acquire, meaning stocks that you want to purchase. Cash secured puts potentially allow you to purchase the stock at a discount while capturing some yield while you attempt to purchase the stock at a specific price. So you can set both your cover call time frame, short term, medium, or long term in terms of expiration dates, and conservative, optimal, or aggressive in terms of your risk tolerance for both cover calls and cash secured puts independently. So I have my settings set to short term optimal for cover calls and short term aggressive for cash secured puts. You can set your own settings and click on Save as Default. And once you do that, you can click on any symbol of a stock that you either own or stock that you want to own. And OptionsPlay will do the same thing as the trading tab by displaying to you an optimal expiration date and strike price as a starting point. So if in this particular example, if let's say you currently own Apple stock in your portfolio, click on the yes button at the top that's asking you, do you own shares of Apple? What OptionsPlay will return back to you is the expiration date, the strike price of the cover call based on your personalized settings. And what this will provide you with are not only the income levels that you should expect to collect, but also the annualized return and yield that you would collect on this particular stock. So Apple pays currently about a 0.61% dividend yield, but the cover call yield on the February 12th 150.5 152.5 cover call generates an additional 19.91% yield, which brings your total 12-month projected yield to 20.52%. And this is designed to give you a much better understanding as to not only your starting points, but how much yield are you actually collecting on a cover call position like this. And we have a plain English tab here at the bottom for investors who are new to this strategy and want to learn more. And for investors who are ready to pull the trigger, you can click on the trade button. We will show you how to enter this trade directly into your platform, again with a bid and ask quote, and also with a strategy checklist to make sure that you understand your risks before you place that trade. For investors who are looking to acquire a specific stock, an overlooked strategy by many investors is a cash secured put, which allow you to accumulate some yield while attempting to buy the stock at a specific price. In this particular case, selling the February 12th 130 puts obligates me to buy the stock at $130 if the stock is below 130 on February 12th. But for that obligation, I am going to be paid $300 by selling the put option, which is a raw return of about 2.2%. That means if Apple is below 130 on February 12th, I'm going to be able to buy the stock at $130 for 100 shares of it minus the $300 that I collected. So I'm collecting about a 2.2% discount on the stock purchase of Facebook stock. And it provides an annualized yield of about 36%. So if Facebook stock is above, if Apple stock is above $130 at expiration, I keep the $300 and I can choose to sell another put as well and continue to generate income on my portfolio. And lastly, once I'm ready to place that trade, I can click on the trade button, see the details for how to enter these trades into my platform, and use the strategy checklist to make sure that I understand all of my risks before I place my trade. So this provides everyone with a quick overview of the trading platform. As you can see, the platform again is designed from the ground up to try to make the options trading experience as simple and as visual and as intuitive as possible, to try to remove some of the complexities that comes with options trading and guide you through the process step by step, everything from idea generation. And for those of you that are stock investors, you can still use the trade ideas to find stock investment ideas. You don't necessarily have to trade the option. You can use our trade ideas to find fresh bullish and bearish ideas every day. The security analysis panel will help you quickly type in any symbol and instantly gauge the directional view of that stock based on the 1 month and 6 month trend and the technical score. And lastly, once you have that directional view, taking advantage of that directional view using options or the stock through the trading tab to allow you to compare any three strategies side by side, using the P&L simulator to see what your potential risks are and your potential rewards if you are correct, as well as income strategies for many investors who currently own stocks or ETFs in your portfolio to add some additional yield to your portfolio. With that, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that this was helpful in giving you a better understanding of the OptionsPlay platform. We are very excited to have created this new partnership with National Bank, who is the first Canadian broker to integrate our platform directly into their trading platform. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great trading day.